Hey loves, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new to the channel, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you're not new but are not getting my notifications, please click the little bell in the top right-hand corner. And now for today's video. So last week I did a video where I did a quick length check and then a style. And from that video, I had a question about length retention and what I do to retain length. And generally speaking, I get a lot of you guys who are saying that you love the length of the top of my hair, you love the cut, you're just waiting for the top to grow out so you can either get the cut or be able to do some of the different style options that I provide here on my channel. And so I thought it would be a great idea to kind of tell you guys what different things that I do to help to retain length as my hair is growing. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So I want to start just by saying that my hair, if you guys have been following me, you know, is generally really poofy. That's just the texture of it is really kind of like cotton, and it is naturally dry. It is just dry hair is just something that I have always had to deal with. And so it's very important to me to bring in a lot of moisture because we know that dry hair becomes brittle and then dry hair ultimately breaks, which is the enemy of length retention. And so one of the big things that I do to help to retain length and combat this dryness that I have in my hair is to use the Loc method. Now, I recently did a wash routine video, I'd say a few weeks ago. If you happen to miss that video, I'll link it in the description box below. But in it, I go through my entire wash day routine, show you guys how I do the Loc method, which essentially is using a leave-in conditioner followed by a oil and then a cream product, and then I twist my hair like this. I actually just finished doing the Loc method before I came on to film with you guys. But this is something that I do once a week at least to help me to really retain moisture and combat the dryness that my hair just naturally has. I would say that is probably the biggest tip for length retention for me, especially for my hair texture and the problem that I have with dry hair. Now, the next thing is with styling. You guys know that I love to style my hair when it's dry and stretched. I have a lot more flexibility to be creative with dry, stretched hair, and so that just is my preference. However, like I said, I have to be really careful when I'm working with dry hair because when it's dry, it becomes brittle and then it breaks easily. And so before I actually move into styling my dry stretched hair, I make sure that I apply a product. It's usually a cream-based product. I grabbed one that I use often, which is the Hair and Body Butter by Eden Body Works. It's just a cream product, but it at least adds a little bit of hydration to my hair so I am not trying to style on brittle hair because that is the enemy of retaining length. And so I always make sure that I use this type of product before I style or manipulate my hair when it is dry and stretched. Now, another thing is sometimes I don't use my heat-free stretching method, which if you have not seen how I stretch my hair heat-free, I will be sure to link that video in the description box as well. But sometimes I like to use this bomb product you guys have heard me talk about, which is the Revlon One Step Pro Styler. It is a blow dryer, and essentially there's heat involved there. Now, there is a cool setting on this particular styling product, and I use the cool setting often, but I usually end on a low heat setting. So no matter whether I'm using the cool setting or the low heat setting, I always like to use a heat protectant, and the heat protectant that I use is this one by Loc Body. It is the Sleek Me Blowout Lotion. I just used a little bit of it, apply it to my hair, especially like to focus on the ends before I start to use that blow dryer. Again, all of these things are really just to help with breakage and combating breakage or dullness or dry hair. That is my big problem, and it is a big problem in general when it comes to not retaining length. The other thing I like to do is I trim my ends every 3 to 4 months. Now, historically, I would straighten my hair in order to clip my ends. And the reason that I do that is because you cannot hide from damaged ends when your hair is straight. Sometimes our texture allows us to kind of not notice when our ends are damaged. And so we never trim them and give them an opportunity to, get out of the way of healthy hair to grow. And so I typically like to straighten my hair, to trim my ends every 3 to 4 months. But as of late, what I found myself doing is when I twist my hair, after I do the Loc Method, I will take a really good close in my ends. And if I have any stragglers, like they're not curling at the ends, then I pay close attention to that, you guys, and I get the scissors and I cut them. And I think that that is going to be a better way for me going forward to trim my ends. It seems to work well for me. And I really don't like the idea of having to straighten my hair just to trim my ends. I do think it's effective, but I feel like I'm finding a better way to do that. So again, just paying really close attention to the ends of my hair when I do the Loc Method, making sure that the ends coil or curl and none are just straggly and hanging, because that means they're damaged and they need to be cut. The ends of my hair is probably where I focus a lot of my energy when it comes to just making sure they're healthy and they're not split, because we know that split ends, if we don't take care of them, can split other ends, and then you just are not, it's a huge issue when it comes to retaining length. And so I try to make sure that I take care of that. I hope this video has been helpful. If you do something that I have not mentioned in this video to retain length, please put it in the comments below so that we can help each other. A lot of people have this question, and so I want to do my best, for us to be able to help each other and give each other some insight towards our hair growth journeys. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time.